Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan. Today I'm at the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Clumber Park site and I have brought this monster of a motorhome. Well, you have to rough it sometimes, don't you? This is the brand new Coachman Travelmaster Imperial 845, worth £209,000. And I've just looked on Rightmove, down the road in Worksop, you can buy a 3-bedroom detached house for that. So for £209,000, this needs to be something special. But, well, the omens are good, because when Coachman went into the motorhome market with their first Travelmaster motorhomes, well, they won the Luxury Motorhome of the Year title 2023. Now, just 2 years on from videoing that first Coachman, here we are with their new flagship, and the range is expanding rapidly. For 2025, they'll have a 3.5-ton Mercedes low profile, the Sportivo, and they're also going into the luxury campervan market with the Affinity range. But this bad boy is the top of the range, as you can see. Their first A-Class, although of course it's built in Sweden by Carbe, so there is 67 years of leisure vehicle experience based in Sweden. So it's a British name on the front, Coachman, but built in Sweden. And that means it's built to cope with Swedish winters. If you want to know more, watch our other Travelmaster video. But things like the fact that they test with mountains of snow on the roof. They collect rainwater to test waterproofing with rainwater rather than tap water in case there's any difference. And the insulation, the attention to heating and winterization is second to none on these vehicles. But this is a bigger motorhome than the first Travelmasters, 8.82 metres long. It is only available on this tag axle Mercedes Alco chassis. So it's a big van, and that 209 grand price tag includes everything you see here. In fact, the only listed option is the awning, and that's included in the price because Coachman have told me, well, they haven't ordered any vans without the awning. So everything you see on this van is effectively standard equipment, and that makes a big difference compared with the German rivals. So the vital statistics, well, I've told you it's 8.82 metres long, which I think is about 29 foot in old money, 3.07 metres high and 2.33 metres wide. Maximum gross vehicle weight is 5.5 tonnes, and that gives you a payload of 875 kilos. Now, as you can see, we've just pitched up, and well, I think there's a very slight slope, but no need to worry about getting the chocks out, because this van has Alco hydraulic levelling jacks. Now, you can do this from the driver's seat, but there's also this little hatch so you can pull the control from outside. Just switch it on and press the button with the picture of the bed, and it gets everything nice and level. Now, I would have said that the van looked pretty level just parked up, but look what these levelling jacks have done. I can actually get my hand under this wheel, although of course the tyre is now hanging down on the suspension, so that shows just how unlevel this pitch was, certainly for a van of this size, and all just at the press of a button. Body construction, well, they're balanced aluminium sidewalls and roof with eco-prim insulation, and look at the way the roof overlaps the sidewalls so you don't get any risk of water ingress there. Cab door, like the habitation door and the 2 garage doors, is linked to Merck's remote central locking fob, but there's no step on this. It might be nice to have an extending step because, well, now it's quite a step up. That's your diesel filler there behind that flap, and then we come to the storage. Now, are you thinking of going skiing with your motorhome this winter? Well, if you are, look at this. An actual ski tray that slides in to your double floor. That's a bit of a neat design. And after 40 years of motorhome testing, I think I've seen most things, but I've never seen this before. These hoses are for cleaning out your freshwater tank. One is the input and one the output. And then back here, now remember the first Travel Masters, the low profiles, didn't have a double floor. So this is the first double floor model we've seen from Coachman in the UK. And you've got this sort of skirt area here. And then, very neat, these slide out storage bins. Take those indoors and pack, rather than having stuff just loose, sliding around in your double floor. Very neat. Then above, well, we've got the gas locker. Well, you've seen many a gas locker, but have you ever seen one with a rotating plinth to make it easier to change your cylinders? Don't think I have. Well, you'd expect a premium motorhome to have these nice framed windows, wouldn't you? And then here, of course, your freshwater filler. Freshwater tank is 150 litres. Both tanks are heated and insulated. But the waste tank's only 90 litres, which seems a bit mean for a motorhome that is so gigantic in most of its stats.
What? Only 90 waste? I'm going to need more than that.
The alloy wheels, all 6 of them, are standard 2, and just down here you can see one of the rear hydraulic levelling legs. Now, press the remote central locking. Of course, as I said, that does the garage doors as well as the habitation and cab doors. And then, well, you've got a generous rear garage. 1.14 metres high, 85 centimetres down at floor level, a little bit wider further up. But you've got some neat little details. Not only have you got these tie downs at floor level, but you've got some here as well on the walls, so a bit easier to strap things down because you can strap them to the sides as well as to the back wall. In here you've got servicing access to your Aldi heating system. You've got a couple of little cubby holes, your Dometic 1800 watt inverter, again standard spec. And then back here, that cupboard is for your 230 ampere AGM leisure batteries. And then on the back wall, you've got little recesses for your toilet chemical, for your freshwater hose, little baskets for any odds and ends. All practical stuff, making this a really useful space. And another standard feature is your external shower. 2 230 volt and 1 12 volt socket down here. In fact, perhaps the only disappointment with this garage is just that single strip light in the ceiling. Looking up, we've got the 5.5 metre 2-lay awning. That is electric, of course. And then you've got an external TV point as well. It's a handsome beast, isn't it? I think for an A-class motorhome, this one certainly looks the money. More features, well, your Hartle habitation door. You've got 3-point locking, and just listen to the way it closes. Lovely. Step automatically retracts, and then just aft of the step you have more of those slide out storage bins. Excellent idea, I think that is. And up front, of course, your twin lens bus style mirrors. Up on the roof you've got your Dometic habitation air conditioning unit and a 150 watt solar panel. Then round the front, well, it's a very distinctive face, isn't it, with these sort of slit like eyes for the headlights. I rather like that. And then to open the bonnet, releases on the passenger side, and then you just lift it up with this simple metal stay, and well, it's the usual letterbox style A-class bonnet, isn't it? Convenient access for your AdBlue reservoir, but everything else is rather hidden, including your windscreen washer reservoir. Pity about that, but other than that, good looking van. Right, time to show you the inside of this super luxury motorhome. Note too that it's NCC approved. And when you get on board, because it's on those legs, not sitting on its suspension, there is no movement at all. Now, the first thing to notice when you come in the van, well, apart from the obvious coat hooks and the mirror to just check your hair, is the control panel, because this Dometic control panel does everything. Well, pretty much everything apart from make your lunch. So you've got your home screen here with all your lights, which are all dimmable with these sliders. You've got central locking switch for your kitchen drawers. You've got your awning light on there as well, which also is dimmable. You've got your bed controls up and down for the electric cab bed. You've got your front cab blinds there as well, your water pump. So the second screen is your heating. You've got separate temperature controls for the lounge and for the bedroom, your hot water, and whether you're going to take power from gas or from electric, and the electric goes up to 3 kilowatt. Then you've got your separate controls for heated floor, for your cab heating, for your garage heating, and for your heat exchanger. Your information screen, which shows your water levels, does your emptying, automatic just electric valves for the waste tanks, sorry. Then you've got your air conditioning on there, and finally all your electrics show battery condition, input from the solar, input from the mains, all that sort of thing. So very comprehensive, and everything in one place, so you don't need to find separate controls, say for the Audi heating. And another neat feature is this little cupboard just inside the door, because, well, you can put your shoes or your boots in there and they sit on a plastic tray. So if you've taken some dirt or mud into the van, well, it's easy enough just to swish it out again. Now, the Imperial isn't just a rebadged car bay, it is anglicised for the UK. In some ways, not quite as anglicised as the existing Travelmaster range, because you'll notice that the habitation door is still on the continental side, and you don't get the full slot-in cooker with the separate oven and grill that you get on those models. However, you do get some features that you don't get on the original Travelmasters, like this nice Corian worktop for the kitchen and that electric central locking. Just press the button on the control panel and all the kitchen drawers lock. Now, I've unlocked them because, as I say, it's lunchtime. Now you've got a stack of three drawers here, good size, all soft close. More drawers down here. The bottom one is your bin, the top one is your cutlery. Decent amount of worktop with this slot-in cover for the sink. And then over on the other side, you've got one of these fridge freezers with a separate freezer compartment and doors that open from either side. It's 153 litre total capacity. Above that is your oven. It is just an oven, not a grill on this one. And it's quite shallow, so you won't be perhaps cooking a whole roast dinner in there. And it is high. Look, you know, at my eye level, it's above my eye level, so that's not ideal. I would much prefer the oven to be down here in the main kitchen unit. That said, of course, another anglification touch is the Dometic microwave. It's one of these modern plateless microwaves, so you don't have to stow the plate away when you travel. More storage up top, and then this nice glasses cupboard at the top with the glazed front. The kitchen sink is a bit swish too, because it's one of these that's got the hose style tap. Yeah, generally a continental style kitchen that's been adapted to the UK a bit. Oh look, another feature, these little hooks for utensils, and of course you've got your cooker hood with the extractor fan there as well. Now, here's an important question for you. You can answer in the comments below. Is there anything worse than smelling bacon cooking on a campsite, going to your fridge and realising you forgot to buy any? Apologies to vegetarians. So, lunch packed away and time to look at the lounge. First thing you notice is, of course, the leather trim, which, like everything else in the Imperial, is standard. There's no choice at the moment, it's just this one finish, but it is very nicely done, and the cab seats are also in leather with the Coachman logo, of course. Loads and loads of artificial lighting, these little sort of dot pin lights everywhere, reading lights, a well lit space. The big Hecky roof light, unfortunately, is just the push-up one, which seems a bit penny pinching at 200 grand, but hey ho. The table is big, as you can see. It's obviously intended for some serious dining, more than just a bacon sandwich. But what a shame it doesn't fold in half, because although it does slide off to one side and you get it sort of out of the way for moving around the vehicle, it would be so much less intrusive if it folded in half, as so many do these days. But this is a very comfortable lounge. If I spin this seat right the way around, I can put my feet up on the sofa. Of course, the cab seats are height adjustable too. You can do the same with the driver's seat. That will go all the way around. Net curtains on the windows. Yeah, it's just a very nice space. If you choose to sit on the sofas, well, they are just as, if not even more sumptuous. You sort of sink into them in a cosseting, luxurious way. This, of course, is also your rear travel seat with these height adjustable automotive style headrests, and you just take out this section of the L to give the second person legroom for travel in the usual way. But what you don't normally get is a fold down armrest, and then other details. Well, I like the shape of these cupboards, it's just interesting. There's a premium sound system in the vehicle with adjustment for the subwoofer just down here. Speakers built into the drop down bed, and then your TV cupboard, well, that's hidden away. The bracket actually lowers, and then you can twist it to face whichever way you want. TV is about the only thing that isn't included on this van. Aerial sockets and main socket are already in situ. Down here, oh, you've got another comfy sofa, but down here you've got a wireless phone charging pad. But I would have liked to have seen a little recess for your phone, because well, it's not going to stay there if you put your phone on charge while you're driving. The rear travel seat even slides forward and reclines, so rear passengers will be comfy. There's not a lot of storage under the lounge seats. This one's got a bit in addition to that shoe cupboard, and there's more space under that corner of the L, but it's quite difficult to get at. This section under the main travel seat is where your fresh water tank is. Before I move on, I should mention the soft touch ceiling and the carpeted sidewalls. It's all about the acoustics in this van, keeping it really cosy in the winter too. And of course, all the insulation is a benefit not just in the winter, but for keeping the van cool in the summer with the help of that air conditioning unit. It was really pretty chilly yesterday, and the heated floor in the van was super welcome. You've got heated carpet in the cab as well, and well, it's just a really cosy vehicle to be in. It's no surprise as you go back through the vehicle to find that you've got the toilet area on one side and the shower cubicle opposite. Equally, the toilet door with this curve to it, well, that swings round and closes off to make a full width ablutions area. Privacy from the bedroom is possible too. Not a proper door, I'm afraid, but this concertina screen pulls across and then attaches with a magnet, although the magnet itself seems to be a casualty of this vehicle having been at the show. If there's one benefit of going for a motorhome this big, it's in the bathroom. There's loads of space in here, even with the toilet door shut, and using this just as a separate compartment. Lots of storage too, down low and behind these mirrored doors, all with fiddle rails. That's a great touch. But I don't think this basin feels quite like a 200 grand motorhome basin, and if you want to get your head over the basin, well, you really need to be sitting on the toilet. It's not so convenient. If you're standing up, you tend to headbutt the mirrors. And who thought that the toilet roll holder, well, I presume that's what it is, because we've got a towel rail there and robe hooks here. Who thought that putting the toilet roll where it's going to get splashed by the basin was a good idea? Huh? Apart from that, the other criticism is that the toilet is on a plinth. Yes, it's the nice ceramic bowl toilet, but your legs dangle. Why? I can understand it in a panel van where you've got to take the toilet out in a certain position with structural members in the side of the van, but this is a coach built. Surely the toilet should be lower. If the toilet area is good with some reservations, the shower is superb. Now, if you're wondering what that noise is, there's an automatic pump that sucks the water out of the shower tray into the grey waste tank. So you'll never have frozen pipes because water's stuck in them. Now, this is a domestic shower cubicle. It really is that good. Plenty of room. Just as good as being in a hotel. Finally, after a long day's filming, or whatever normal people do in their motorhomes, it's great to sit back in this sort of chaise longue style bed. Get your copy of MMM, of course. You've got your reading lights. You've got your rear speakers back here. Oh, and if you're wondering what this is, well, it's been fitted at a jaunty angle, but that's your PIR sensor for the alarm system. Again, the alarm, security alarm, with contacts on the doors and so on, garage doors, locker doors, so on. That's included as standard too. You've got the usual wardrobes on either side, roof vent with extractor fan above, and of course the opening windows, even these little pelmets, it's a nice homely touch, and again, great lighting back here. And then when you want to go to bed, you just press one of these buttons up here and the bed flattens and you just climb in. There's TV point at the foot of the bed if you want a second telly. The usual. Right throughout the van you've got these vented panels so that the heat distribution is excellent right throughout the vehicle. Carpeted sidewalls again, and a light to illuminate the steps down into the bathroom. Now, with the bed extended, you've still got room to get round the foot, unlike in some vans. And the bed itself, the mattress itself, measures 1.98 metres by 1.4 metres, or 6'6" by 4'7". But the important thing is it comes with its own mattress topper, and it is so comfortable. It was very lucky that I got up to do videoing at all this morning. And of course, this isn't the only bed. There's another double at the front. The cab blinds, well, at the side they're the usual manual ones, but the windscreen has an electric blind. Like everything else, the bed control is on the control panel. Just add the ladder. And this bed isn't quite so generous. It's 1.86 metres long by 1.17 metres wide. That's 6'1" by 3'10". You've got USBs and main sockets there. No privacy curtain, unfortunately, but useful shelves for your knickknacks up here, and the bed is on plastic springs, so it should be nice and comfy. All right, time to go for a drive. Usual Mercedes thing, foot on the brake, press a button for start, and engage drive on this little stalk control. So what's it like to drive nearly 9 metres of Mercedes-Benz Alco? Well, it doesn't seem short of performance. You've got the 170 horsepower 2-litre diesel engine and the 9-speed automatic gearbox. And admittedly, as usual, I'm very lightly laden, but it sails along smoothly, 60 miles an hour, no trouble at all. Faster if you want it. But we haven't been out on any particularly fast roads, so keeping the speeds legal and sensible, of course. It feels nice and stable, perhaps a little bit softer than I was expecting, but that gives you a comfortable ride. Visibility is good thanks to the MBUX display with the reversing camera and these big twin lens bus style mirrors. But you cannot get away from the fact that this is a very large motorhome, and when you're manoeuvring it does take up a lot of space. Now you'll have noticed there were a few rattles, but most of the time when the road surface is acceptable and it doesn't feel like we're in a third world country, it's very quiet, and an engine noise, which sometimes can be an A-class issue, is nicely suppressed too. Now, what about the windscreen wipers? Let's have a look at those. Oh yeah, they do a very good job, and the washers are on the wiper arms, which is always a good thing. Yeah, I would say that is considerably better coverage of the screen than I've seen in a lot of A-classes. As for features, well, you've got the sat-nav in the MBUX display. You've got the climate control air conditioning, which I've got at 19 degrees at the moment. It's nice and cooling, because yesterday I wanted the heated seats on. Yes, you've got heated and cooled captain's chairs in the cab. They're very, very comfortable. Twin armrests, of course, but they're heated and cooled, like in a luxury car. So really, from a driving point of view, the only question is whether you're comfortable driving a vehicle as big as this. So, final verdict time on the Coachman Travelmaster Imperial 845. Well, there's a lot to like, isn't there? This lounge is superb, bar the fact that the table's a bit big. The shower is, well, it's like being at home, and the bedroom is pretty much that way too. It's very, very comfortable. And isn't it nice to have a luxury motorhome where you haven't got a list of optional extras as long as, well, as long as a Travelmaster Imperial? What don't I like then? Well, I think that toilet roll holder position is silly. I think the height of the loo is uncomfortable, and not keen on that oven, which is a bit high up even for me. Other than that, if you're looking for a motorhome that's in that sort of 9-metre A-class category, well, this has to be on your shopping list now, because it's got everything. And I think you might easily end up spending more on a German van by the time you've specced it up, and still maybe not have this level of attention to detail in terms of the heating, insulation and sheer winterization, simply because it's Swedish. Could this be the best thing out of Sweden since ABBA? Who knows? Hope you've enjoyed this latest, rather special motorhome review. Some more modest vans coming along soon.